Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Breen and I am giving my presentation on cryptocurrencies. So the first question you might ask yourself is what is crypto or what are cryptocurrencies? A cryptocurrency is any form of currency that exists digitally or virtually and uses cryptography to secure transactions. The most common form of cryptocurrency is Bitcoin, but there are also other forms of cryptocurrency such as Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, Tron, and others. If we want to look into the history of cryptocurrencies, we must start in 1983. Here, an American cryptographer by the name of David Chaum came up with the idea of eCash. The goal of eCash was to allow people to transfer money anonymously over the internet. Chaum used cryptographic technology to allow for blind signatures to keep interactions private and secure. Because of this, he is said to have put the crypto in cryptocurrency. In 1989, Chaum implemented his idea with an online currency known as DigiCash. A few years after Chaum created DigiCash, DigiCash ended up gaining popularity with a few banks. However, because there were some challenges with scaling, market adoption, and securing contracts with larger banks, DigiCash ended up falling apart. Years later, in 1998, a man by the name of Y Day began pushing a cryptocurrency called B-Money. This type of cryptocurrency was focused more on the idea of decentralization and was where the actual term cryptocurrency originated from. While B-Money did not last for long, Y's term cryptocurrency ended up sticking, and his idea surrounding a decentralized payment system using cryptography became a founding block for modern cryptocurrencies. Flash forward to 2009. The world is dealing with the after effects of the 2008 economic crisis, and both the value of traditional money and the trust in banks and financial institutions are at an all-time low. With these factors setting the perfect stage for a new currency, someone whose true identity is still unknown, but who operated under the alias Satoshi Nakamoto, released Bitcoin, a revolutionary type of cryptocurrency that has come to dominate the cryptocurrency market we see today. Bitcoin was part of the first crypto exchange, the New Liberty Standard, which was founded the same year in 2009. At this point, there was not yet a true value for Bitcoin, so the NLS established the price by dividing $1 by the average amount of electricity to run a high CPU computer multiplied by the average residential cost of electricity in 2008. Therefore, when the New Liberty Standard first launched Bitcoin, $1 was worth 1,309 Bitcoins. In 2010, Bitcoin was sold for the first time when 10,000 Bitcoin were traded for 2 pizzas. If this transaction had taken place at today's rates, those same 2 pizzas would have been sold for $300 million. In 2017, Bitcoin started to take off and its value hit 10,000 US dollars. This caught the attention of banks and more investors, and Bitcoin's value began to spiral upward from there. In 2019, large enterprises and financial institutions began making massive investments into cryptocurrency, with the cryptocurrency known as Ethereum becoming a major focus. Ethereum offered additional services and contracts that could improve efficiency, speed, security, and automation. Then, in 2021, the market cap of cryptocurrency passed 2 trillion US dollars, and cryptocurrency, which was once seen as an unreliable experiment, became a major player in the financial world. At this point, you might be saying to yourself, okay, Bitcoin is clearly worth a lot of money, but how does it really work? Good question. Bitcoin operates using blockchain technology. Blockchain is a method of recording information that makes it possible, impossible, or incredibly difficult for the system to be changed, hacked, or manipulated. A blockchain is a distributed ledger that duplicates and distributes transactions across the network of computers participating in the blockchain. It is essentially a structure that stores transactional records, which are called blocks, of the public in several databases, which are known as the chain, in a network connected through peer-to-peer nodes. This type of storage is referred to as a digital ledger. In Bitcoin, the digital ledger itself is the currency, and if any fraudulent transactions were to occur, the digital ledger would show discrepancies between users, and it would then be corrected based on the digital ledger with the most amount of work put into it. Because one user cannot outcompute every other user in the entire Bitcoin network, the digital ledger will always change back to its correct form. Cryptographic keys are also a major part of cryptocurrencies. Each user has a unique pair of cryptographic keys, a public key, like an account number, for receiving funds, and a private key, like a password, for accessing your cryptocurrency. These keys allow protection of sensitive data and secure communication by scrambling data into an unreadable format called ciphertext. Essentially, these keys allow users to engage in secure transactions. For Bitcoin, Bitcoin mining is the process whereby new Bitcoins are created. This process consists of generating new cryptocurrency units by solving complex mathematical problems with computing power, which also serves to validate transactions on the blockchain. Mining is conducted by miners, using both hardware and software to generate a cryptographic number that is equal to or less than a number set by the Bitcoin network's difficult algorithm. Once the number generated is determined to be a match, a block in the chain is closed, and the miner who was able to close it is rewarded with Bitcoin for their efforts. The number of Bitcoins that the miner is rewarded with halves about every 4 years, and because of this, there will eventually be no more Bitcoin left to mine. Also, because one block is closed about every 10 minutes, and there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins to exist, we can expect Bitcoin mining to stop in the year 2140. On paper, Bitcoin mining sounds like a clever way of validating transactions while rewarding those willing to spend massive amounts of money on the hardware, software, and electricity required for mining. However, there are issues that come along with this process. Bitcoin mining requires a massive amount of electricity to power and cool the computers that are doing the mining. According to study results published by the United Nations University and Earth's Future Journal, during the 2020 to 2021 period, the global Bitcoin mining network consumed 173.42 terawatt hours of electricity. This means that if Bitcoin were a country, its energy consumption would have ranked 27th in the world, which is more than the entire country of Pakistan. The carbon footprint that resulted from Bitcoin mining in this year alone is equal to burning 84 billion pounds of coal. But that's not all. Bitcoin mining also requires a lot of water to cool down all the hardware that heats up during the mining process. The amount of water that was required to cool down the hardware doing this work was enough to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool 660,000 times. That is more than enough water to meet the current domestic water needs of 300 million people in sub-Saharan Africa. Concerns surrounding cryptocurrencies are not just limited to the environment. Crime is also a major factor in cryptocurrency use. According to the University of Technology, Sydney, 46% of all Bitcoin transactions were associated with illegal activity in the year 2017. That essentially means that if you were to flip a coin each time a Bitcoin transaction occurred in the year 2017, the odds of the coin landing on heads were almost equal to the odds that a Bitcoin transaction involved something illegal. That doesn't sound so bad if there were only a few transactions, but in the year 2017, Bitcoin was processing a reported $2 billion worth of transactions per day. That's $730 billion a year. This chunk of crime that makes up a large percentage of Bitcoin transactions has, however, decreased significantly since 2017, all the way down to less than 1% according to some sources. But there should still be no doubt that cryptocurrency can enable criminal activities, as it is the most commonly used currency on the dark web. On top of all that, Bitcoin is decentralized. This means that it operates without a central authority or single administrator. So, there is no real way for transactions to be monitored and blocked like they could be by a bank. There are no banks involved in Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies, so regulation is often out of the picture. So, what are the upsides to cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies are, for the most part, decentralized, which means that they are not controlled by one single authority, such as a government or a bank. Because cryptocurrencies are not controlled by one single authority, they are not subject to having their values changed by a government bank, such as the Federal Reserve. For Bitcoin, which is backed by blockchain technology, we also do not have to worry about money printing, as there is a finite number of Bitcoins which cannot be added to. This generally means that there are less concerns with inflation caused by an authority adding currency to the economy. So where do cryptocurrencies fit into business? Beyond cryptocurrencies just being another way for a business to accept payment from a customer, there are other benefits a business can receive from using and accepting cryptocurrencies as payment. Well, first and foremost, cryptocurrencies just might end up being the dominant currency in the future. This, of course, is speculative, and we are many years away from this happening if it ever were to. But businesses should still keep this in mind when operating, so they are prepared to potentially shift towards accepting cryptocurrencies as payment in the future. Some businesses have already done this. AMC, Twitch, Microsoft, AT&T, PayPal, and Amazon all accept Bitcoin as direct currency or through partnerships with third-party payment processors. Even some food businesses participate in this too, such as Pizza Hut, Starbucks, and Burger King. Second to its potential prevalence as a major currency, internet access is really all that is needed to use cryptocurrencies, so accessibility is easy for most people, which means customers should have less trouble making payments. Here is the first page of sources that I used in my presentation. And here is the second page of sources that I used. And with that, I would like to pose some questions for our class. With cryptocurrencies on the rise and increasingly becoming a topic of discussion, we should ask ourselves, do cryptocurrencies facilitate crime any more than cash does? And will cryptocurrency be the dominant currency in the future? Why or why not? I'm interested in hearing your answers to these questions, and I look forward to reading the discussion surrounding them. And with that, I would like to conclude my presentation on cryptocurrencies. Thank you all for your time. And again, I look forward to our discussions on the topic of cryptocurrencies.